Hello, welcome to another tip for the ride. My name's Alice Trindle. This is Savio that's helping me out today, and we're about to show you a new pattern that we've been using a lot here at T&T Horsemanship out in Eastern Oregon. I'm using the geometry here of a stop sign, basically. I know it has a couple more points. Here's the equipment that you might need, and then we'll get back to talking about what we're about for today. I have about 6 to 8 pieces of PVC pipe, a nice hula hoop here in the middle to just kind of give me a picture of where the center of this circle is, and I've set them up so that they're on a, greater than a hexagon, whatever you would call that. So it has a number of points as it goes around. The idea of this is to see if I can begin to ride a perfect circle, but with that, still give myself that visual picture that there are little points along that circle where I might have a slight little half halt, and it also is going to help me as I start to develop some of these lateral movements a little bit more. Now, why would I want to set this kind of geometry up? Well, as a human, it really helps me tremendously, both on the ground, but particularly up here in the saddle, to give me that picture of what I need to be looking forward to. As we've talked about before, our horseman's protocol includes such an important piece of picturing what it is that we would like to accomplish with our horse, and then setting that up with using some real geometry to help us out a bit too. What we're going to be about today is taking the same exercises that hopefully you've watched on the ground video where we talked about the use of the stop sign, and now transferring those up in the saddle. Ultimately, it's always about seeing if we can supple, lengthen, flex, and begin to condition, strengthen our horse's muscles, those ligaments and tendons, so that they're well ready to be able to carry us. To biomechanically bring our horse along so that we can be here in the saddle, out of the way, but with them in a beautiful harmony of balance and lightness. That's what horsemanship is all about. So let's get started here with a couple of those exercises. I believe the first thing we started with on the ground was just a nice long and low stretch. And so we'll see if we can do that. Again, I'm going to remind you that the stretch is not something that you're forcing down with the horse. You're offering them to find that spot, what feels comfortable to them, to stretch over that top line, that chain of muscles over the top, and a little bit begin to work those chain of muscles that come from the pecs and back up into the hip area, the abdominal chain as well. Making that beautiful circle that we're looking for, and being able to coordinate our horse's muscles, ligaments, tendons, and structurally work with that skeleton as well. Your horse may not stretch down this much. It may stretch out down much more. I noticed with Savio, with the little shorter back, and also perhaps the Iberian breeding here, that he doesn't stretch quite as much as some of my other horses. Don't force it. No more than you'd want to be forced to pull your shoulders down. You want to just find this nice place with a good working rhythm. Left hind, left, right, right. No dragging. It is not that we're trying to do any kind of pulling of the horse down. We still want a good pump from behind. Always envisioning, am I helping to lengthen my horse, stretch, and get them prepared to be able to ride. That feels pretty good to me. This is the same direction we went on the ground. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and just take a turn here and see how easily I can come through to my hula hoop. Change my whip to the other side. Change my aids slightly. My left leg caresses a little bit more, my right leg a little bit back. I'm just trying to stay out of his way. Go very nicely with the movements, not forcing it here in my pelvis, but moving with him and feeling those hip bones work, feeling the nice little bit of a contraction here on the inside and a nice stretch on the outside, and a stretch over the chain there on the top. Very nice. Good. Good rhythm. Long legs, envisioning that my spurs are about 5 inches long. I wouldn't want to cut him with those razor blades on the end. My legs are long, draped around his side, not constricting, and moving with the horse. Nice little suppling. Now let's see if we can change this a bit and change my posture and ask him to change his. Here I'm kind of heavy on his front end, just allowing him to push forward. I wonder if we could both bring our shoulder blades up and back. If we could develop a little communication here through our reins. If we could develop better posture in our core area to draw it in and up. Let's see what happens here if I put just a little bit of that kind of a feel in, and if he could now pick himself up and carry himself in a little bit different look. Notice that I am as well. Very light on the reins, still keeping that feel of a steering wheel right here in front. And nice to also kind of practice with your whips to see if you could put a whip in both hands and it could stay nice and vertical here. Now let's see if we could start a little bit of sideways around our stop sign, or a shoulder in. In my mind's eye, I'm going to see it first. I want to bring his left front foot a little bit towards the hula hoop. I want to ride his left hind foot away from the hula hoop. Could I do that? Stretching up, turning as I did when I was on the my two-legged horse, left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore. As I come to the point, I'm going to put a little half halt in and wait for him to balance up. Left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore. A little weight, not weight as in balance weight, heavy weight, but weight as in W-8-I-T. Wait for him to balance. Now carry that energy. Left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore. His feet basically move along this straight line, forward and a little bit sideways. As with each one, the reward after we've done a little bit of work there is to come out and do a little bit of stretch and see if we can pick up that nice circle on the outside here. Doesn't mean that I lose all my posture, that I contract here in lose what I have as a positive tension in my core area. But I do free up and see a little more freedom of movement in my horse as well. Next picture. I wonder if I could ride those same 2 feet, but ride them in a reverse bend, where his shoulders would be to the outside and his bottom would be to the inside. So let's see if I can do that here. Again, I'm going to pick up a little bit of contact, develop good posture, take a deep breath. Now I'm going to start by riding those shoulders to the outside here. Got it. Now could we go forward and sideways, but keeping that my back towards the hula hoop and his back towards the hula hoop. Left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore. We'll carry that over here a little bit so that you can see it a little bit better. Here we go. A reverse bend around the circle. I'm freeing up the shoulders here a little more. Left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore, left hind, right fore. Put my right leg on, turn, and ask for him to depart off on a nice circle. You'll notice we've changed directions now. As I come around, I'm going to set up the same movement, reverse bend on a circle, but where I'm headed is to see if I could do that reverse bend, and as I'm making that movement, change the bend so that he's moving to the right. and his eyes are to the right, and the bend is around my right leg. Let's set it up here. Reverse bend first. Left hind, right 4, left hind, right 4. Now I'm going to change the bend a little and see if he can carry that same movement, but the shape, I'll carry it on over here so that you can see it a little better. The shape now is not off of my left leg, but off of my right leg. Left hind, right 4, left hind, right 4, and you'll see that he's bent around my right leg. My left leg is back, my right leg caresses slightly and says, come around. My balance is to the right. Now turn my core and let's ride off on that circle and let him stretch out again. We have one more movement to do. We're going to set back up the same direction we were going, our shoulder in. So to get there, I'm going to come across the diagonal, across to my hula hoop. Change back to my left flow. Pick up a nice little contact. Start my shoulder in. Left to right, left to right. My balance is over here to the right. My left leg is slightly back. My right leg accepts that energy. Now what happens if I ride that hind quarter away from the hula hoop? Same movement, but the difference is the bend is around my right leg. Left to right, left to right, left to right. My balance stays over here, the direction I'm asking Savio to move. You can see it's a nice suppling movement. Ride him out, relax, and down we go. We pick up a good rhythm. Now how do these things start to come together as I work towards, let's say my canter departs, my tempi changes or flying lead changes? How does that help? Well, number one, we have a nice supple horse. Number two, he's starting to listen very well to the changes of your balance. Number three, he's getting very handy at feeling half-pass postures. In other words, postures that move into the bend, which require more strength, more flexibility, and those are where you're really going to get those spectacular movements as you ask for other kinds of activities from your horse, particularly at your canter work. Let's just finish up with a little bit of the same maneuvers at the trot. I'll call out what their names are as I do them. You see if you can identify them as well. And we'll see how that might end up helping my horse to become more light and supple. Up into the trot, we start. Little rising trot. A little shoulder in. A little rising trot. Sitting trot, reverse bend, change the bend, rising trot, prepare for a haunches in or travers around my left leg. Riding right to left. Turn my core, rising trot. We only have one left. That would be a renvers. Let's set it up with the shoulder in, left to right. Now could I ride His haunch is away, but around my right leg. Left to right, left to right, left to right. Change the bend, rising trot. Let's see if we have something here. Ask for a softness, carry it into the canter. Down to the trot, rising. Ride through the middle. And set up the whole sequence. Set up the whole sequence the other way. Let's do it real quickly. Here we go. Shoulder in. Rising trot. Reverse bend. Turn the core. Rising trot. Reverse bend. To a travers. Haunches in. All I did was change the bend. Turn my core, rising trot. Last one. Start with the shoulder in. Ride those same 2 feet, right to left. Now change the bend to the left, still riding, right to left. Rising trot. And now see how that feels like at the canter. Down to your trot. Down to your walk. Down to your halt, shoulder in. Very good. Nice. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little sequence. I can tell you that if you apply this on a regular basis, you'll see a tremendous increase in the suppleness, willingness, and lightness of your horse. And the ability to go on and practice many different kinds of maneuvers and jobs that you will ask with the horse will really become much easier and in lightness. Until I see you again, hope you've enjoyed this tip for the ride from Eastern Oregon. I'm Alice Trindle, signing off.